So let's close our eyes. Inhale and exhale slowly. Be aware of your breath. Be aware of your body. Be aware of your emotional and mental state. Calm yourself, relax yourself, center yourself, and repeat silently and reverently to the Supreme Parabrahman, the source of all light, love, and power, the source of all creation, to the Divine Father, Divine Mother, to all the respected spiritual teachers, to all avatars, prophets, messiahs of all great religions. We thank you for your priceless blessings, for your guidance, help, and protection. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for illumination. We thank you for inner guidance, intuition, clarity on this subject of death and afterlife. We thank you for helping us disintegrate any preconceived ideas, preconceived notions, calcified ideas, negative beliefs, fear, worries, traumas within us connected to death and afterlife, which have been created through eons of time, through misleading the crowd in different religions and different social structures. We thank you for your purifying light, which help us be liberated of the fear of death. We thank you for the clarity to see death in a newer life, newer light, from a fresh perspective, from a friendlier perspective, with thanks and in full faith. Continue to do deep breathing and silently let's chant the mantra Om together 7 times to further purify our bodies of all impediments, negative thoughts, and feelings which may hinder you from more learning or deeper learning. When you chant, gently make an intention to clean all your body, your emotions, your mind of any unwholesome thoughts and feelings. Are you ready? Inhale slowly. Om. In Om, if you want to really chant it properly, you need to prolong the O in the Om, and the M has to be short. Om. After every Om, try to be aware of the silence and the stillness within you. Om. 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 One more time. Oh. Just be still, be aware for next 30 seconds to 1 minute. Very gently, slowly open your eyes with a big, big smile. So let's begin our presentation. So last time, maybe just quick review. In the last session, we emphasized further or discussed further about the divine plan. Do you remember the divine plan? So, in one word, if you ask me what is the purpose of life, the purpose of life is to manifest the divine plan. And what is the divine plan? The divine plan manifests as in the form of you transforming your life into a much more glorious, much more heavenly life by developing your inner spiritual potentials. This inner spiritual potential, in three simple words, is divine light, divine love, and divine power. But they are far more grand than that. The moment you start, it's like the seed. You remember, always remember the seed. But when you try to meditate on a seed idea, it starts to become more and more expanded. So what does it mean? I told you that there are 5 principles which you need in order to manifest the soul within you, the spiritual light, love, and power within you. It is through beauty, goodness, righteousness, joy, and freedom. These are your key uh, points to meditate upon, because they will become the factors through which, or the material through which you will materialize or manifest divine plan for your life. And then eventually through you, it may materialize for the people around you, maybe for the society, and then for the whole world. So, but our role is not to transform the whole world alone. It's a group responsibility. Our job is to stimulate maybe a few hundred or a few thousand souls and make sure they continue to grow. So let's say if we are taking this program, and through this program, if 1,000 people are inspired or 10,000 people are inspired, and they continue to keep that seed idea, meditate on it, and make it bigger and bigger, make it more and more clearer to them, and then they start working on it, then we have succeeded in creating this program, right? But if you just take it as just another nurturing program or a course, then maybe we have not succeeded. So the goal of this program is not just to give you information, but to really bring change. Are we communicating? So if you do not change, if you don't take even little steps towards changing yourself every single day, just like you need to plant, you need to water the plant every day in order for it to bloom. So you need to also uh, fertilize and give water, spiritual water, give understanding, light of under sunlight of your understanding, in order for these seed potentials within you to evolve and bring them to the fullest. So if you ask me what is the purpose of your life, I don't know. But I know that the purpose of your life will manifest by manifesting the three inner potentials within you of light, love, and power. And how do you manifest them depends on your own intuition, depends on all your own inner development, how you take this journey. Okay. So whether you are dead or alive, in this world or in the higher world, this journey will continue. Always remember, this work will never end till you I mean, you have to come on earth and continue to die and continue to be in this cycle till this three potentials manifest to their fullest of divine light, divine love, divine power. This is like your three divine qualities within you. Every person is Shiva, every person is Brahma, every person is Vishnu. You have these three potentials. You can become a future Vishnu, future Shiva, future Brahma. In some future planet, you know, do not think that Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are individual entities who live on earth. From one level of truth, it is true, but from a higher level of truth, it is not. They are cosmic energies which pervades the whole universe and other universes. Did I say something? From the one, from the one Supreme Parabrahman came three forces or three energies, which is divine light, divine love, divine power, or the Shiva energy, Vishnu energy, or Brahma energy. One energy is the creative, destructive force. Energy is the energy of sustenance and preservation. And the third is that of, what do you call? Like you can say creation, or maybe more of, it is more connected to the laws of ruling the world, how the world should go. That is the Brahma energy, which is connected to karma, it is connected to the rules, regulations, and laws, and so on. So this three potential lies within us in seed form. We need to manifest. ये potentials को हमें manifest करना है by living life consciously, reminding ourselves who we are. जब तक आप खुद को ये याद नहीं दिलाएंगे कि आप कौन हैं in reality, the entire game changes. If you think you are an ordinary human being, you will always live ordinary life. But if you remind yourself you are the seed of the future universe, it is not to make your head swell or big, because you are still a seed, but it's an important seed. Did I say something? You are a seed, but it's a very important seed. It's a seed of a future universe. Okay? So we need to manifest the divine plan through our daily living by consciously unfolding our inner qualities. First, so ये पूरी process में सबसे पहली सीढ़ी यही होती है, is knowledge, proper understanding, and proper remembrance, reminding yourself over and over again of the same truth, who you are, why are you here, and what you are supposed to do. And then actually you do it. Because if you don't remember, you will not do it. Yes or no? You will be lost again in the world of Maya, or what you call illusion. So why people fear death is because they are too attached to this Mayavic body. This body is actually a result of Maya or glamour. It's accumulation of cells around a design created by you. But the real you is inside this structure. This is not you. People are too too attached and too possessed by the idea that they are the body. And that's why they suffer, because when the body falls sick, when the body has limitations, when the body doesn't look as beautiful as other people's bodies, when the body is short or tall or fat or thin, then all the comparisons start and all the suffering start. But if you can really accept this truth and meditate on it, that the inner essence within you is the same as uh, in every human being, then the misery will, the life's misery will disappear. Also, you will stop comparing yourself and stop comparing your others with yourself. Are we able to understand this? Okay. Let's go to the slide to continue the discussion. Can you see the PPT? Can you see it? So why we suffer is that we are attached, or we are very clingy to the materialistic values, which is connected to our past. See, when we came, आज से billions of years ago, millions of years ago, जब आप इस दुनिया में आए थे, तो उस प्रोसेस में आपका गोल क्या था? Try to understand this. When you incarnated, you remember involution, I made you make that circle. Involution, evolution. इन्वोल्यूशन का ऑब्जेक्टिव था मटेरियल वर्ल्ड से अटैच होना और यहाँ की लर्निंग्स को सीखना, यहाँ के एनवायरनमेंट में ढलना, यहाँ के चीज़ों से फेमिलियराइज होना और यू नो टू लर्न फ्रॉम दिस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड. बट दैट वाज द हिस्ट्री, दैट वाज द पास्ट. बट फॉर सम रीजन we were, after a period of time, we became so comfortable with this world, we started to love this world. जबकि होना ये चाहिए था that once your job was over, you should start to detach life after life from this world and become, जैसे जो लोग बोलते हैं ना कि बैरागी होते हैं या त्यागी होते हैं या they are very detached. So detached souls are the ones who live in this world, but they live with how to say this, very limited interest in this world. Their main sole purpose is to fulfill their real goal, or the real project of why they were sent, is to manifest their true divine potential. So initially, when the soul was young, we were sent into this earth millions of years ago. It's like a university. बट यूनिवर्सिटी में ग्रेजुएशंस होते हैं, कई बार हम एक ही क्लास में कई इनकारनेशंस तक we sat in the same classroom, but फिर धक्का देके आगे बढ़ाया गया through sufferings in life, then we move on to the next classroom, but then again we became comfortable in that class after several lifetimes spending in the same class. So इसलिए you see, कई सारी चीजें जो आज आपको लगता है कि आप बड़ी आसानी से कर पाते हैं, like cooking हो गया, doing some work, finding a job, making a living, playing, doing sports, or जो भी है. So any kind of work you feel that you have already mastered it, yeah, you are very comfortable in it, it means you no longer have to learn it. It means you have to go beyond it, find newer interests, newer hobbies, newer learnings. It just like it simply reminds you, it should remind you that you have already learned the lesson in the past lives. So you don't have to go and do the same thing over and over again. So कई बार लोग बोलते हैं कि oh, I don't want to learn something new. But that's why you were sent here. At least find something that interests you. But it has to be something which you do not know. Or which ऐसी चीजें, how will you know that something जो आपने पिछले लाइफ में नहीं मास्टर की है, सीखी, when you will try to learn it, you will face tremendous difficulties or challenges. उसको समझने में आपको बहुत समय लगेगा. So it means that this skill or this talent you have not yet developed through lifetimes. क्योंकि अगर वो आपके सबकॉन्शियस मेमोरी में होता तो वो आप आसानी से, जैसे कि कार चलाना लोग कुछ दिन में सीख जाते हैं, बाइसिकल चलाना सीख जाते हैं, बट कई बार कोई चीज है जो थोड़ी कॉम्प्लेक्स होती है, जो आपको नहीं समझ में आती है, तो वो आपको बहुत समय लगेगा. So it means that this skill or this talent you have not yet developed through lifetimes. उससे नहीं सीखते कई बार। लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल रिलेशनशिप्स को डील करना अभी तक नहीं सीखा हमने प्रॉपरली, इमोशंस को हैंडल करना नहीं सीखा, माइंड को कंट्रोल करना नहीं सीखा, and it is very very difficult even for us who have been practicing pranic healing and Hatha yoga for so many years. Sometimes we also get overwhelmed by how our emotions and our mind behave, but at least there is this awareness that I am not the body, and this body needs to be controlled. But some people, they are too attached to their form that they're not able to separate themselves with the body. They think they are this emotion, so that's why they start defending themselves. Have you not seen when somebody is angry, they think this person is making me angry? It's your emotions which are stirred up, or your emotional body is angry. You're not the one who is angry. You're not the one who is sick. You're not the one who is happy or sad. It's the body, it's the emotions. So always remember, ये दो truth याद रखिए. पहला, can you make your thumbs like this? All matter is constantly change. All matter constantly change. What is changing? We are in the world of changes. So you can never expect your bodies to behave the same way. Your bodies will always go on the roller coaster of ups and downs, but you can learn their nature, their behavior, and be still. But the soul is unchanging, unchanging in a way that if you can realize your true nature, practice awareness, in spite of having pain in the body, in spite of having emotional difficulty, you will remain unaffected by it. You will still feel the pain, but not as much as when you are entangled. Right or wrong? So this is a very important learning और ट्रेनिंग प्रोसेस जो हम स्टडी में आके बढ़ रहे हैं उसमें, बिकॉज यहाँ पे आपके बहुत सारे मेंटल ब्लॉक्स ब्रेक होंगे as we progress. That's why this discussion is very very important. So the soul is unchanging relatively as compared to the bodies. The bodies, their moods, there are very fluctuating. जैसे खाना खाया 2 घंटे बाद फिर भूख लगती है. So that's an example. Sometimes you are happy, but after a few moments you are sad again. Or let's say the right way to say it is your emotions change or fluctuate. That's why a disciple has to develop a quality of indifference to pleasure and pain. This state is called sthit pragya, if I'm not mistaken. Sthit pragya means the ability to be indifferent. Indifferent does not mean being cold or being in a state of rejection that no, I'm not feeling pain. Even though you feel pain, you recognize it, but you're not over focusing on it. You do whatever it requires to do to take care of the pain. If it is required to be healed, if it is required to give the medication, but you don't make a drama around it. Don't make a big fuss around it. Because the moment the mind is focused on that thing exaggerates or it magnifies. I want you to touch your eyes. You say, eyes are the instrument of the soul to direct its energy. I repeat, eyes are the instrument of the soul to direct its energy. It also internally is connected to direction of your attention. Not just the eyes, but direction of your attention. So whenever your eyes move, your energy moves. So for example, if you pay too much attention on the silly emotional experiences your body goes through, you are energizing them through your eyes, through your attention. I want you to repeat this statement. Most of you know this. Energy flows where attention goes. Energy flows where attention goes. जहां आपका attention होगा वहां energy जाएगी. Which energy? Energy of your soul. Now, attention जाने के बाद में अगर उस energy को आप positively use करते हैं by affirming that it is okay, My body is in pain, but I am being healed. I am taking care of my body. It will be healed. It requires some time. The body is not perfect. It is not immortal. It is subject to damage and then repair. But the moment you are clingy or attached, oh my God, I am sick. Oh my God, I have this emotional problem. Oh my God, I've lost so much money. So ये जो expressions हैं, extreme expressions, they tend to bring down a lot of energy towards आपके life के उस aspect में, and suddenly it becomes even more magnified. So the pain, which was very less, suddenly it became a lot of pain. Let's say you have lost a loved one, or somebody passed away, somebody passed away, and you are making such a fuss about it. Yes, to you know grieve about it, or to feel sad temporarily is okay. But I've seen people grieving 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. That is crazy. So remember that the soul itself does not suffer. There is no suffering for the soul. The suffering happens in the body. So same is in the inner world. The moment you start realizing that you are the soul, अगर ये spiritual training आपके पास में है, even if through your karmas, अगर आपको hell world के through pass होना भी पड़ा, you will transcend from there very, very fast. Maybe a few hours, maybe a few days. If that happens, there is a if. Maybe your karmas are better, you will simply go through purgatory. We'll talk about these terms, hell, purgatory, and then. But even if you have to stay there, you will not suffer as much as you think. Or maybe you can completely skip this suffering part. But जब तक earth में है, if you do not want to suffer or minimize, let's say do not suffer is impractical, but if you want to minimize your suffering, then learn this art of indifference. Be indifferent, be objective, accept, do not lie that, oh, I don't have pain. No, I don't need to cry. If you feel like crying, you cry. Accept it. If you feel like laughing, you accept it. That is honesty to oneself. Are we communicating? So let's discuss what we have further. So we're talking about attachment, right? So let's go ahead. As souls, our job is in the process of evolution to gradually lead towards a more refined living, letting go old ways of living and beliefs. So you need to, the process of evolution means refinement of living. Do not live the same grosser life. For example, in terms of food, this means you stop consuming animal meat. Eat healthier, enriching food. Now even science says this. Science भी ये चीज बोलता है कि animals are like middlemen. Animals अगर 100% प्रोटीन लेता है प्लांट से, only 10% or 20% वो आपको प्रोवाइड करता है. The 80% is lost. So why don't you directly consume all the nutrition from plants? Now it is being scientifically proved that plants have more than enough nutrition which your body needs. And the second part is animals can experience very intense emotions of trauma, of fear, of death. You know why sometimes we have this fear of death? Part of it comes from the body we have, especially if we consume a lot of meat. That meat carries that energy of fear and trauma of death, which the animal experiences, which is stored in the cells, and then it is passed on to your body. If there is a DNA of disease in the body of the animal, that DNA also pass on to you. So knowledge helps us reduce the suffering of life. 80 to 90% diseases जो हमारे body में होती है, it comes from obviously there is a psychological factor, but through wrong diet. So if you want to really refine yourself, refine your diet, that is one. Then the second is refinement of the emotions. So why refinement is involved is important, I will explain to you. In the inner world, There are certain laws. Are you with me? Are you all still there, awake? Still listening? Or so in the inner world, the laws governed are based on the law of vibration or similarity of vibration. What it means? Similarity of vibration का मतलब क्या है कि डेथ के समय पे आपके ओवरऑल एनर्जी वाइब्रेशंस जैसे रहेंगे, मृत्यु के बाद में भी आप वैसी ही सिचुएशंस अट्रैक्ट करेंगे, वैसे ही लोग अट्रैक्ट करेंगे, वैसे ही प्लेसेस अट्रैक्ट करेंगे. That does not change anything unless you take conscious action. Did I say something? So refinement is important for the sake of your own interest. ऐसा कहते हैं ना कि किसी और के लिए नहीं, बट खुद के सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट के लिए तो करिए. बिकॉज इन द इनर वर्ल्ड, द मोमेंट यू डाई, द काइंड ऑफ लाइफ यू हैव लिव्ड, एंड लास्ट में आपका रिफाइनमेंट प्रोसेस जैसा भी रहेगा, यू हैव अ ग्रॉसर बॉडी और अ रिफाइंड बॉडी, इनर वर्ल्ड में भी आप वैसा ही सिचुएशन, वैसे ही लोग, वैसे ही सराउंडिंग अट्रैक्ट करेंगे. सो जस्ट थिंक ऑफ इनर वर्ल्ड एज अ मल्टी स्टोरी बिल्डिंग. इनर वर्ल्ड को एक मल्टी स्टोरी बिल्डिंग के जैसा सोचिए, जो बहुत ज्यादा बड़ी है. व्हेन आई से बिल्डिंग, इट इज नॉट जस्ट लाइक 4-5 फ्लैट्स है. सोचिए हर फ्लोर पे एक पूरा सिटी है. कैन यू इमेजिन दैट? सोचिए कि इनर वर्ल्ड इज लाइक अ सीरीज और ऑफ फ्लोर्स, जिसमें हर फ्लोर इज ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ सिटी, जिसमें शॉपिंग मॉल से लेके आपके अर्थ का हर एक चीज है. एवरीथिंग इज देयर. बट जितने नीचे का फ्लोर रहेगा, उतना वो फ्लोर डार्क रहेगा, उतना डल रहेगा एनर्जी वाइज, और वहां पे मिलने वाली चीजें, वहां पे मिलने वाले लोग भी वैसे डल एंड डार्क रहेंगे. बट द हायर यू गो, देर इज मोर लाइट, देर इज मोर रिफाइनमेंट, देर इज मच मोर फ्रीडम. लोअर वर्ल्ड्स में, लिसन केयरफुली, लोअर वर्ल्ड्स में डेथ के बाद जब आप जाते हैं, व्हेन यू पास थ्रू द लोअर फ्लोर्स, it is just like the best example of this is, if you search, I want you to do the research, check for homes or flats in Hong Kong. Hong Kong में लोग कैसे रहते हैं? I want you to search this. They have 1 bedroom kitchen apartment or studio apartments, which is like, yeah, maybe just example of some of the homes in Mumbai, like some of the chawls in Mumbai. Maybe the chawl is still better, because I lived in one of the chawl long ago when I went to Mumbai for the first time. Studio apartment is still better. So these are very congested places, maybe as big as a bathroom, and you live in that much space, and there is very less freedom of movement. It is much darker, and the resources you have are very little in your hand. Okay. So that is an example of a lower world. But as you go higher and higher, there is more freedom. The houses are bigger. There is like big landscapes, big places to move around. Then huge monumental building, जैसे कि आप दुबई गए होंगे या किसी बड़े मेगा सिटी में गए होंगे. So you look at this monumental big. If you have been to Europe, some European structures. So something like that you will experience. Even your home will be like that, the societies will be like that, and so on. And then there is much more freedom, much more leverages and perks. So सोचिए आपने पूरा life, just to give you an idea, imagine आपने पूरा life बहुत अच्छा जिया, in terms of you lived selfishly, but you lived in a 5-star residence, and then everything is on your fingertip, just आपके उंगली उठाने पे, you will get the thing. But because you did not work on the refinement of yourself, you lived a very gross life in terms of your emotions, in terms of being a mentally ugly person, and so on. In the inner world, you will live a completely opposite life. In the inner world, you will be attracted to the places which are dark, deep, and dull. So your outer appearance is of no consequence and of no use in the inner world, your inner appearances. So imagine if a person's aura can be photographed. So depending on how your aura looks like, if it has a lot of dullness and or a lot of, they cannot enter the higher worlds. So they have to go through the lower floors. And the lower floors are much more restricted. And we will have a lesson proper on it and we will define hell, but it is not where you want to go. It is not what you want to experience. So it is better that we become aware of this fact, that we prepare and we work on our refinement. So food is just one aspect of it. Next is the emotional state. If we start to get pissed or affected by every little thing around us, if we become so reactive, we are reacting to every possible thing, then our emotional body is very gross and unrefined. Are you able to understand this? If you really want to refine yourself, you have to learn to develop the virtue of patience and tolerance, of kindness, of happiness. The key factor which will give you access to higher worlds are the 5 pointers which I gave you. What were the five pointers? Can anyone remind? Beauty, goodness, righteousness, joy, and freedom. These are the 5 key factors which will ensure that you will jump to a higher plane after the death. If we don't work on them, if we don't start reflecting on them, if we don't give it time even for 5-10 minutes, okay, what is beauty for me? How can I become a more beautiful person? What is freedom for me? How can I bring more freedom in my life and give freedom to others also? What is righteousness for me? How can I live life more righteously? What is joy for me? How can I become a more joyful person? And how can I contribute more joy in other people's life? Or am I doing the opposite? Instead of joy, I'm giving sadness to people. Instead of freedom, I am taking away people's freedom. I am deciding for everyone. There's a beautiful movie I mean, my wife watched the whole movie, but I just happened to watch the first few minutes, but it's a worth watch. It's called Bro. The name of the movie is Bro. It's a Telugu movie, dubbed in Hindi also. Uh, but it's a nice movie. In a humor way, they have told the value of time and the value of, living a good life, doing, what matters, the most important things. What are the most important things in life? It's like really having happy relationship is most important. So the entire movie's plot is about how this guy dies and goes to heaven, and then when he really pleads कि मुझे एक मौका दो, so he is given 80 days to make changes. So he's sent back. Yeah. So he's given 80 days to make amendments or corrections. But still, when he tries to do correction, he still encounters or fights with his own limitations of his own nature, old nature. But it's a nice movie. Okay, so refinement is extremely important. अगर हमने आज से effort नहीं लिया, you never know when is your last day on earth. And to your surprise, you will know that sometimes the stay in the lower planes is much longer. I mean, to suffer in hell for 5 minutes is already worse. To suffer even in purgatory means a place where you purify before you can enter heaven or higher worlds. Going there for 5-10 minutes, 20 minutes is already worse. Some souls have to stay there for weeks, for months, some for years, maybe 50 to 70 years or 100 years. So why do you want to take that chance and not work towards your refinement? So just remember the 5 points, your five. Beauty, you need to learn to live life beautifully. So you have to really meditate what it means. Outer beauty is one thing. Inner beauty, what is the meaning of inner beauty? It means your thoughts have to be beautiful. Your words have to be beautiful. Your expression has to be beautiful. You need to transmute all your inner ugliness. We will have a proper session, one session when we will talk about these 5 virtues or 5 important qualities of the soul in much more depth. Okay, and then what else? Let's go to the PPT. Okay, so what is the worst thing that you can do to yourself? Can anyone answer to me? The worst thing you can do to damage your own self or harm yourself? Or to retrogress, to slow down your progress? No, addictions are not the worst thing. Addiction, people with addiction are still okay. They can be accepted to heaven surprisingly faster as compared to this quality. Inflexibility and rigidity of the mind. The most dangerous people in the world are with rigidness of mind, because they are not just threat to themselves, they are threat to the next generations. Because when they pass on that same rigid ideas to others, and especially if their ideas are powerful, their ideas can survive for generations. That's the most bad form of evil in this world. Religious rigidity, social rigidity, cultural rigidity, or calcification. It means एक बिलीफ है जो चेंज ही नहीं हो रहा है, रिफाइन ही नहीं हो रहा है, जैसे स्कूल में सिलेबस एवरी 5 ईयर चेंज होता है, बिकॉज दैट्स द नीड ऑफ एजुकेशन. बट कई बार आज भी, लाइक व्हेन आई वाज इन इंजीनियरिंग, वी सॉ 20-year old सिलेबस स्टिल बीइंग टॉट, जबकि टेक्नोलॉजिकली इतना को चेंज हो गया है. Why? Because the people who are in the position to change have rigid ideas. They don't want to bring the change. So the worst thing you can do to yourself to slow down your progress in evolutionary path, and also to prevent your entry to the higher worlds, is to be rigid. So the opposite of this is becoming flexibly minded. When we say flexibly minded, it means to not allow any idea to become crystallized in your mind. Before it crystallizes, you need to change. You need to find a better way of doing it. It means do not become too comfortable with something. Once you feel that, oh, you're comfortable, you move on to the next level. Are you able to understand this? कोई भी चीज से स्टक होके मत रहिए. एक तरह की कंफर्ट ऑफ लिविंग से स्टक मत होके रहिए. Try to get beyond it. Go to the next level. Throughout your life, maybe 70 years of your life or 80 years of your life, try to strive for better life. And when we say better life, does not mean that if you have one car, you can have 10 cars. That's not the meaning. The meaning is the quality of life, psychologically, spiritually, mentally. Try to educate yourself as much as possible so that आपके mind के जो blocks हैं किसी भी subject को लेके वो टूटते जाए. The best way, that's what I've learned. That's why I'm able to also share with you the best way in to do anything to do in this world is to educate yourself. Self-education. Read from different resources about a particular subject. वो आपका subject का जो concept है उसको broaden करता है. The more broaden minded you become, the more useful you are to the world, in this world and the higher world. If you have a rigid mind, you are neither useful in this world, neither useful in the higher world. and you slow down your progress for millions of years or thousands of years. In order to evolve faster, one need to learn to be open-minded, ready to learn newer ideas, objective and willing to experiment, but at the same time compassionate and with goodwill. Only those with these qualities can be trusted the knowledge of the higher worlds and greater spiritual progress. So spiritual progress और आपके बीच में सिर्फ एक ही चीज है, your willingness and your openness, or lack of willingness or lack of openness. अगर आप सोचेंगे कि जितना आपने जान लिया है बस है, then yes, stopped your progress there and then. Till your last breath, you need to learn. That should be your goal, because last breath is the breath of the body, but the soul continues to learn. But if you have this intention that, oh, I know too much, and then I don't need to know, the same attitude will go on in the inner world. You will be barred from learning even in the inner world. So it's such a loss. So हमारे attitudes, हमारे ideologies, they are our true treasures. I repeat very slowly. Our attitudes, our ideologies, our way, our ability to see things, हम चीजों को कैसे देखते हैं, ये डिसाइड करेगा कि आप स्पिरिचुअली कितना तेजी से आगे बढ़ेंगे. अगर आप पुराने वैल्यूज को, पुराने आइडियाज को पकड़ के रखेंगे, दैट मीन्स you are a rigid person. So you need to learn to let go, because that's the way of life. Constant change, constant progress, constant refinement. And I can tell you this for sure. There will always be a better way of doing certain thing, because we live in the world of infinite. Angels, for example, there must be hundreds of people who know better ways of doing things what you do. But then beyond that, there are hundreds of angels of different gradations who know it even better. Then the planetary god or the spiritual beings know things which are even better. So there is always a scope of betterment. So do not get stuck. That is a very important learning. Then the greatest secret is we are all destined to live a glorious life in the world so heavenly, which cannot be described in words but has to be experienced through inner sight. So अगर आप यहीं अटक गए या यहीं आपने खुद को रोक दिया, you prevent yourself from greater learning, greater glory, greater, it's like it cannot be defined. You need to experience it. You need to see it through your inner eyes. I have been, let's say, fortunate to have a glimpse of that in a few dreams or in a few spiritual meditations, where I had a glimpse of seeing what this means. So once you see it, then you're never the same. The only thing which comes between this destiny and how we are today is our ignorance and attachment to the past, which includes attachment to our bodies and material ways of doing living things. Most importantly, our attachment to old philosophies and ideologies, the same thing I just shared with you. Now, the last part, let's quickly go through this. The laws of inner world differs from the laws of earth. ये हमने already discuss किया है. In the inner world, everything is governed by the law of attraction and repulsion. The law of mercy supersedes on earth, but the law of justice supersedes in the inner world. ये एक important pointer है जिसको हम लोग discuss करते हैं. This should be the last thing we discuss today. Then we'll have questions. So what it means is, earth पे जो pervading या more dominant rule है या law है, that is the law of mercy. Law of mercy ये बोलता है कि from a certain point of view, you will be allowed to make mistakes, because if you don't make mistakes, you cannot evolve. So you are given opportunity to, everyone is given opportunity to make mistake. In fact, there is a deva. According to inner teachings, there's an angel who is in charge of answering your requests, answering what you desire. I'm not saying just wishes, but anything you desire. And especially on the physical plane. That include even if you want to desire to kill someone, it will be fulfilled. If you desire to hurt someone, it will be fulfilled. Because only when you make that mistake and then the karma comes back, your soul start to sometimes learn. Because it cannot learn through the straight method of education. Sometimes it learns through painful experiences. So physical world is about the law of mercy. Even though you are doing wrong, God being merciful he wants you to make that mistake. But इन द इनर वर्ल्ड, ये वाले लॉ को हम बाद में फिर आके इसके बाद फिर से डिस्कस करेंगे, बट फॉर नाउ in the inner world the law of justice pervades. It means when you make a mistake, you have to pay for it in the inner world. It means you have to answer for it. You will face your fears, you will face your mistakes, you will see all that is inside you. आपने आज तक कॉन्शियसली और अनकॉन्शियसली जो भी गलतियां की हैं, जो भी चीजें सोची हैं, चाहे वो कितनी भी अगली क्यों ना हो, you have to face them. It's like you will see this aspect within you like a 3D model, 3D form. सोचिए कि आपका एक डुप्लीकेट आपके सामने आएगा, just to make you understand, and that duplicate will have all the energies in the form of 3D models, 3D objects जो उसके ऑरा में फ्लोट होंगे, and you will be able to, it's like a mirror put in front of you and you can see what you did, क्या गलतियां की, क्या mistakes की, and it is sometimes very horrible to see what we did, but that's how it is. And then after that you need to accept them, you need to answer them, and that is a purification process that is called purgatory or purgatory. And you have to stay for some time facing them. For example, just to give you an idea, let's say you murdered someone or you cheated someone. The same image or the same memory in 3D will be shown to you again and again and again and again and again and again in a loop. It's like you're watching a same movie in like 9 to 12, 12 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, and then repeat. And then you will be asked, what is your lesson? So imagine seeing your mistake one time is already fills you with so much guilt. Repeating it will make you a super guilty person. But at the same time, you have to remember to learn your lesson. Say that yes, you made this mistake, and you feel apologetic or you're feeling repentful about it. You have some degree of remorse about it. Are you getting the point? So we do not want that process to happen if we can already prepare for it by taking conscious actions every day, by consciously correcting our mistakes. So in the inner world, you cannot escape justice. Even if आपने पैसा देके पावर से सब चीजों से अर्थ पे सब खरीद लिया and then you escape through the justice system, in the inner world you have to face divine justice. Only then you can go ahead in the spiritual world's access. जब तक आपके सोल से वो dirt clear नहीं होती है of that crime or sin which you did or the mistake you did. Is this clear? So maybe let's pause here, think about what we have learned today, and we will continue tomorrow. Let's give thanks. Close your eyes. Then we'll have a question. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother, to all the great teachers, saints, avatars, prophets, messiahs, invisible helpers, angels connected to the inner worlds, spiritual worlds. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your help, your understanding. Thank you for the examples. Thank you in full faith. Gratitude to you.